Hey everybody, my name is John from Community Life Church, and this is Meals Ready to Eat from the Bible. We would really appreciate a like and subscribe. Hello everybody, today's message is this: serve, serve, serve. Jesus was a servant of all, and we should be too. You know, in the day we live in, things that are going on, we always hear, no matter where we go, in the media, on YouTube, the news, school, work, whatever. Be who you want to be. Do what you want to do. Just you, me, self, self, self. It's all through our society, and this is human nature. But Jesus came with a different message. So let's go take a look at what Jesus is saying to us today in Mark 9:33 through 37. Let me get that up on the screen here. And let's read through it and see what Jesus has to say to us today in this passage. They came to Capernaum, and when he was in the house, he began to question them. What were you discussing on the way? But they kept silent, for on the way they had discussed with one another which one of them was the greatest. Maybe they were a little embarrassed. Sitting down, he called the 12 and said to them, "If anyone wants to be first, he shall be last and servant of all." Taking a child, he set him before them, and taking him in his arms, he said to them, "Whoever receives one child, even one child, like this in my name, receives me. And whoever receives me does not receive me, but him who sent me." That's Mark 9:33 through 37. Okay, let's take a look at this and unpack this and just go see what Jesus has in mind for us today. So which one of us is the most important? Is it you, or is it me, or whatever? Who is more important in the church, the family, and the government, and so on and so forth? This kind of thinking is common with us. You know, we all want to be important. This is human nature. Well, let's start with Jesus is obviously the most important person who ever lived. He is the creator of the universe. He is the only savior. He's the only healer. He is, in fact, God. Yet he does not look at his own importance the way we look at our own importance. He does not consider his own importance as well important. What he does think about it and why is not thinking ourselves important. Kind of a lot of importance here. So let's go look at this in his words. Jesus says here that we are to be a servant of all. And what he is doing, we should do the same. Jesus then goes on to say that we should even serve little children. The smallest of all people need to be served too. The most insignificant in our eyes, not God's eyes, should be served too. Jesus does not make distinctions in who he is serving. Jesus does not make any distinction who he is serving, no matter how lowly we may look at them and we may think they are. Jesus says, serve them, and he leads by example. That's why he took the child and said, serve this child even. How important does Jesus think serving is? Let's read a little verse from Philippians 2:7-8. He says this: "But he, Jesus, emptied himself, taking the form of a bondservant," that's the lowest of the low, the least of the least, "and being made in the likeness of men," being just like us, just like a person. "Being found in appearance as a man, he humbled himself by becoming obedient, even to the point of death, even death on a cross." So Jesus thinks that serving is so important that he was willing to serve us even to the point of death, even to be tortured and humiliated on a cross in public. So we miss this because we live in a society that worships the self. We worship ourselves. We worship self-service. And this is true even in the church. We got to get this out of our hearts and our minds, even in the church. It is constant in all forms of media. It's constant in school. It's constant in the workplace. But who do you want to be? What do you want to do? Ignore those around you and serve yourself, we're told. The message Jesus came with was the exact opposite of that. And not just a little opposite. His message is worlds different than what we hear all around us. His message is, don't think of yourself as important. Don't think of yourself as the most important. Don't have debates like the apostles were having about who is the most important. Serve. So whenever we hear "do as you please" or something like that, remember that Jesus did the exact opposite of that. Jesus, in fact, is the servant of all, and he's telling us to be the servant of all, and that is exactly what we should do. Thanks for watching. You can join us Sunday morning, 10:30 at 20 West Main Street, Catskill, New York. Can't make it? You can stream our services live on YouTube or Facebook, which you can find on our web at clchurch.cc. That's clchurch.cc. Don't forget to follow us throughout the week for devotions and times of sharing from leaders and staff. Leave a comment, leave a like, whatever you want. And thanks once again.